Subject down.
What's going on, people? Today, I want to give you some tips on how you can win more games as a solo player in Apex Legends. Due to the hero shooter elements within Apex, teamwork and coordination is extremely important to your success in this game, and if you're playing as a solo in a random squad, you're already at a severe disadvantage because more than likely there will be a full squad of friends in your game that have been playing together for years and have near perfect synergy. But fear not, even with the odds stacked against you, you can prevail if you follow this guide. The first thing you should do when you queue up for a solo game is assess the experience of your teammates. When that Your Squad loading screen pops up, make sure you pay attention to what level your teammates are as well as how many kills they have on their legends of choice. This is highly valuable information, so make sure you pay attention to it. In this game, I saw that my Pathfinder was level 20 and had 68 kills, so I knew that he was at least competent on Pathfinder, whereas my Bloodhound was only level 4 with 3 kills, so I could easily tell that he was new and probably wouldn't be much help to our team overall. This is important to understand so that you know who you can trust when you're in a gunfight, who you should revive first if they both go down, and who can actually watch your back while you loot. Understanding your team's strengths and weaknesses is huge, and you should gather as much info about your team as you can so that you know who is good and who is a noob. The next tip is to live and die by your team. When your team pushes, you push. When your team camps in a house like little bitches, strongly encourage them over the mic to stop being camping pussies, and if they still won't move, camp with them. If your team moves into an unfavorable position on the battlefield, follow them into it. Give everything for your team. If they go down, your top priority is to bring them back into the fight. Now, you need to take into consideration what you learned about your team from the loading screen. If both of your mates are level 2 and have less than 5 kills, you can pretty much just write this game off as a loss and treat it as a solo game. You know, practice your movement or something. But if your teammates have a somewhat respectable amount of experience in the game, it's always worth to go for the revive play as opposed to abandoning your team and trying for a solo win. There are many factors that make Apex Legends incredibly team dependent, and it's unnecessary to know what those factors are for the scope of this video, but what you need to understand is this. You are much more likely to win a game with a full squad as opposed to winning solo. This is true in Apex more so than any other battle royale on the market. This is why when you play with randoms, you should always be by their side no matter what. If they go down, risk everything to res them. This doesn't mean you have to just run blindly to get their banners. You have plenty of time to sneak in and swipe their banners away if the area is still hot. In this example, both of my teammates are knocked and finished pretty quickly, but I know that there are still 2 teams fighting in the area, so I continue to loot to both gear myself and to give the 2 enemy teams time to kill each other. I ping both of my mates' banners to let them know that I will bring them back from the dead. When I decide to push up here, the other teams are still fighting, as you can see, so I play this very passively to let them do as much damage to each other as possible, and then move in for an easy cleanup. So you see how rezzing my team was my absolute top priority, but I went about it intelligently, instead of just blindly rushing in. I encourage you to do this as well, but just make sure you communicate to your team that you are going to res them so that they don't fucking back out. My third tip is to take leadership of your team. If you are the most experienced player in your squad, which you should know if you paid attention to the loading screen, then it's your responsibility to call the shots. Now, ideally, this means actively using your mic to comm, but for all you antisocial motherfuckers out there, this game has just the thing for you, and it's the dynamic ping system. Calling shots can be as simple as pinging where you intend on moving and pinging enemies that you want to engage. That already is more than enough communication to at least get your team to move around together and engage together. And if you can do that, you're already miles ahead of most other random squads in this game. Be sure that you are the one directing the flow of your team if you're the most experienced. The fourth tip is to understand when you are not the best in your squad and let yourself get carried and directed. If you get teamed up with a master bloodhound with 400 kills and he's fucking level 70, then you should know right then and there that this guy is not to be fucked with, and you should follow his every order because there's a high probability that he is much better than you. In this scenario, allow yourself to be carried. Stick by that dude's side throughout the entire game and support him in any way you can. Drop loot for him, ping high tier armor for him, fucking give him a foot rub if he needs it because this guy is your ticket to winning. And if you truly want to win, this sweaty no life can hand you that win on a silver platter if he's given the needed gear and information. Even if you find gear for yourself, if this guy needs it as well, you should be donating it to him. If he has blue armor and you have purple, trade with him. If he needs light ammo and you have only 80, give him 40. Think of it as a future investment. Give up some of your loot now, but if this professional gamer wipes 2 squads while utilizing your donated gear, your investment just paid off tenfold because now you have more bodies to loot than you know what to do with. Ping enemies, ping high level loot, always go for the res on this guy first and you will be victorious. Follow these tips and the winds will flow like water through a great river. Understand your team, give everything for your team, assume the role of leader by commanding your team, and if the situation calls for it, be the willing pawn and loot delivery boy for your more experienced brother. This is Battlefane. GG.